In the 1960s, the horrific damage to the natural world due to the dramatic economic growth of post-war America was becoming unavoidable. The endlessly growing automotive industry was choking cities, and the toxic smog developed into a perpetual fact of life, making some places almost unlivable.
Air pollution was not the only concern, though. The surprise combustion of the Cuyahoga River in late 1969 solidified water pollution as a concern for Americans and exposed the government's lack of concern for the environment, spurring a new wave of environmental awareness.
Due to ineffective environmentalism and concerns over industrialization and rapid urbanization in the 1970s, Richard Nixon broke political barriers by creating an entirely new national agency, which would create a new precedent to prevent previously ignored environmental issues and set a standard for environmental conservation.
As the rapid destruction of the environment became more evident, the concept of global warming was brought to light. It was found if this destruction of the Earth's ozone layer was left unchecked, the impacts would be catastrophic, and life on Earth would be forever altered. This new discovery led to the creation of the first Earth Day in April of 1970. This cautious, centrist movement helped popularize environmentalism and would help lead to the creation of the EPA. As a result of the pressure he faced from environmentalists, Nixon worked to create the first ever agency specifically dedicated to the environment, despite doubt from other politicians. On December 2nd, 1970, Nixon enacted the Environmental Protection Agency as an executive order. This day in history marked the beginning of a revolution in environmental activism.
Nixon created environmental regulations in order to conserve the environment and protect it from pollution caused by humans' industrialization. The agency's workers consist of a head administrator and 4 directors who work side by side with the head. Under the head is 3 assistant administrators that are involved with the general counsel, planning and management, and research and monitoring. Under these are the commissioners of each specific office. They are in charge of making sure the offices do what they have been assigned. There are 10 regions that have their own administrator, as well as an office in the EPA.
With the creation of the EPA came multiple improvements in environmental quality, as it was now protected by the government. EPA Order 1110.2 created offices specifically targeted at areas of environmental degradation, attacking problems that had never been addressed before. These offices include the Water Quality Office, Air Pollution Control Office, Pesticides Office, Radiation Office, and Solid Waste Office.
The order states that the Water Pollution Office includes 1. Federal financial assistance to help support the construction of municipal waste treatment facilities, encouragement of improved operation and maintenance of such facilities, and improved planning to assure that the grants contribute to effective basin-wide cleanup. 2. A quality standards management program in cooperation with states, cities, and industry. 3. A research development and demonstration program. 4. A national water quality monitoring system coordinated with monitoring activities of state and other federal agencies. 5. A manpower development and training program. 6. A technical assistance and support program for public and private agencies and institutions. And 7. Continued federal financial assistance to state water pollution control agencies to assist them in carrying out their responsibilities for water quality management under the Federal Water Pollution Control Act. These responsibilities establish recreational water standards under the federal law. This was revolutionary as it not only benefited the environment but created support for jobs and Americans.
The offices were all of equal importance, but the Water Office was most active. All sectors of the agency worked efficiently to not only benefit the environment, but benefit the people of America, creating a historic system of beneficial change.
The EPA immediately caused change in major American cities with new regulations on toxic waste dumping and air pollution. Public water sources saw immediate benefit and were able to avoid previous issues like the Cuyahoga River fire. Air quality improved and smoggy cities were no more.
National parks and American wildlife also saw immediate benefit with the creation of the EPA. In 1973, Congress passed the Endangered Species Act, which required federal agencies to ensure that their actions did not jeopardize the existence of any endangered species of plants or animals and the destruction of their habitats.
In 1978, the Redwood National Park Expansion Act was amended and removed threats of park removal, as well as set standards for the creation of new parks and encouraged the protection of pre-existing parks.
Although the EPA was majorly impactful during the time of its creation, it still has major effects on current American politics, economics, and environmental issues.
The EPA has always had a presence in American economics, but as of 2020, the EPA has signed a federal budget of over $6 billion and houses almost 20,000 employees. Not only does the EPA staff almost 20,000 employees, but because of their creation of new parks and secondary offices, the agency has created over 100,000 jobs. As the EPA continues to receive more funding, more jobs will be created, allowing for continued benefit to the American economy.
Since its creation, the EPA has enacted dozens of acts that have made historically beneficial improvements to the environment. Some of the most notable are the Oil Pollution Act of 1990, the Safe Drinking Water Act amendments of 1996, the Transportation Equity Act for the 21st century, and the Energy Policy Act of 2005. These acts were all created by the EPA to benefit the environment because, as time passes, industrialization and degradation of the environment have increased. So, the EPA must work tirelessly to keep up with the environmental injustices of the world.
So we've seen some drastic changes to the environment as a result of the EPA. Good things, right? They have really put in place all the stuff to help clean up air and water. I think most people in these recent generations don't realize just how bad it was. We had rivers on fire. We had people dumping waste anywhere they wanted. And that's all illegal now. And the EPA's helped win lawsuits against people who've polluted improperly. It hasn't all been perfect. We've made advancements and then kind of slide back a little bit on some things. But I think as an agency, the EPA is essential, and long-term effects, I hope that they keep making a difference.
Not only has the EPA worked to increase environmental legislation, but they now sponsor hundreds of programs to help human health and environmental concerns. Some of the most notable are Clean School Bus USA, National Environmental Education Act, Oil Spill Prevention Program, and the Brownfields Program. These programs not only work to improve the natural world, but to educate Americans so that the EPA can continue to have an impact on the nation's future.
Since its creation in 1970, the EPA has broken barriers in American politics to create political, economical, and environmental changes. In its 50-plus years of existence, the agency has had a profound, beneficial impact on the United States and continues to work to benefit the future of our country.